Dirk Nowitzki passes Wilt Chamberlain on the scoring list. He is now sixth all time on the NBA all-time scoring list. Shout out to Dirk. Say what you want to say about Dirk, but shout out to Dirk. And it is now time to retire, Dirk. It is now, give the shoes, give your jersey, hand it all over to the water boy, because it's time to shut it down. I take Browns QB over Dak. You sound like my coworker. He is so passionate about Baker Mayfield, which I get it. Baker Mayfield is the new and the latest and greatest thing in the NFL. And he loves Baker Mayfield. He would have loved for Baker Mayfield to get drafted by the Cowboys, even though I knew that that wasn't going to happen. But he would love for that to happen. Shout out to Courtney, the real deal. Dak is a tier 3 QB in my opinion. I don't know if I would say tier 3. I'm gonna say tier 2 because I think he has the capabilities. I think he needs someone to be able to guide him and coach him. You can't have. I don't agree with Kellen Moore being the offensive coordinator, but obviously that's what it's going to be. We're pretty clear that that's what the outcome is going to be with this. So I think Dak just needs he needs help. I think he needs help, and also he does not have a lot of time. If you watch a lot of these games, he's got so much limited time. He only has time to look at one read, and then from there he's got to run, or he's got to figure out what he's going to do. Shout out to Melvin, executive producer, X Squad Radio. Thank you for tuning in. How many tiers we talking about, Dollars? If 5, I agree. Dak doesn't make the team better. Elite QB doesn't need help. They make whomever better. You do have a great point there. But Dak's going to get this contract regardless. I'm here in Dallas, and they are already talking about what this contract is going to be. So he's going to get the contract regardless. I think Dak can lead this team. He is going to have to depend on the running game. He is going to have time to be able to pass the ball. But Dak to me is a second tier quarterback, in my opinion. So again, shout out to Dirk, who is now 6th all time on the scoring list. IT is open to the return to the Celtics. Now, I need somebody to answer this. Do you guys think Isaiah Thomas is being desperate, or is he really considering going back to the Celtics that did him so dirty? They did IT dirty. The dude just played his heart out. His sister just died. He lost his tooth. I mean, like, how worse can a situation get for somebody? And they say, yeah, we're about to trade you. We're about to trade you real quick. We're about to just, trade you for I don't even remember who all was involved in that trade. But they made that trade happen. So I don't know if IT is really serious or if he's thinking, I don't really have any other chances right now. So that was an interesting story that came out. And I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if he's truly serious about this or if he is concerned that he may not get picked up, because he's on the Nuggets right now. He's on the Nuggets right now, but how much run is he really getting? I read an article saying that he's not getting that much run. They're not putting him in the rotation. which to me sucks for IT. IT is one of those guys that to me it's hard to hate him because of his heart, because of his size. He does have the ability to ball. So that I kind of feel for IT, especially with the emotional part of it. His sister passing away, almost not giving him a fair shot. And Big L, you're right. And shout out to Big L if I didn't say that already. But his best years were in Boston. That was his best years in Boston. Everywhere else, he was only there for a certain amount of time. He didn't stay there long. So, and I agree with Dollars too. If Kyrie is gone, then you're right. You definitely have a situation where IT would probably go back. Where is Kyrie going? That's another huge question in this whole equation, is where is Kyrie gonna go? I honestly don't see him going to New York, and I think that was the prime destination spot. So where is he gonna go otherwise? I think he should stay in Boston. And I think they'll get it together when it comes to playoff time. I think they'll figure it out and they'll get it together, because this team is well coached and they have the squad. But really, I've been saying this: if the Sixers don't make it to the finals, I got a huge problem with that whole organization as a whole. IT is just not the same player after the hip injury. That's because they built the offense around IT. It would be the same if he goes back to the Celtics, or best when they dress the ball around. Kyrie is going to New York. It just does not seem like a good idea for him. It doesn't seem like it's going to work out either. So I'm interested to see how that the offseason is going to go. KD, where he's going to go. But let's definitely touch on this fight with Earl Spence Jr. and Mikey Garcia. This was a domination. He dominated. Earl Spence Jr. dominated Mikey Garcia. And this is a new era in boxing. And I think Earl Spence showed the world, and it was in his own backyard. It wasn't his own backyard, but still, the way he manhandled Mikey Garcia was second to none. I'm a fan of Earl Spence, especially being a Dallas area product. You got to show love to the people in your backyard. You have to, just because who else is going to show love to him than the people, if the people don't in the backyard show love. Spence put in that work, shut out Mikey Garcia. Garcia showed heart, but Spence outboxed and tore him up. So who's next? You did see Manny Pacquiao in the ring, but does that truly mean that that's gonna be his next opponent? I would love to see him against Bud Crawford, and I'm not the biggest boxing fan, so I don't know necessarily how all that would have to work out. But him, Thurman, he already handled Kell Brook. Kell Brook is almost like a pastime, a great American pastime, or a great England pastime at this point. I'm starting to watch boxing ever since they started putting legit fights on ESPN and Fox Sports 1. Boxing is beginning to take off. And I agree with you. That has been a great deal, because a lot of people do have ESPN. So you could quickly turn to ESPN, find yourselves some great fights. And then you're right, Fox, PBC, Premier Boxing Champions. They've been able to get fights in front of people, which then continue to create more excitement and will continue to create more excitement. Lights and Spotlight. Kyrie went to school in New Jersey. Here's the thing about Kyrie, though. He doesn't like the media right now. Going to New York, it's going to be 100 times worse. They are not going to care who you are. And maybe he'll just be okay with not talking to the media, no matter where he goes. Bud Crawford is the only legit contender against Spence. I agree. And Bud Crawford has been put in the category of being a great and possibly great pound-for-pound fighter. So that really would be a great matchup there. But you know who was in the ring. You know who was in the ring after the fight was over. The one and only Jerry Jones was in the ring. It was at Jerry World. I'm very critical of Jerry. A lot of people are very critical of Jerry. But the one thing you cannot say is that he is not a businessman. He is a straight up businessman. He does not care what type of event it is. He will do whatever it takes to try to get that event there, which in turns, you know the deal, puts money in his pockets. Thurman is scared. Porter don't want that beat down from Spence either. Yeah, it is. And Errol Spence looks like he didn't even fight. When the fight's over with, a lot of fighters, their faces look beat up. A lot of fighters, they look like they've been in a brawl. Like they've been in a war. But when it comes down to Errol Spence, he looks like he didn't even fight. He looks like he was just in the back playing Fortnite or something and just came up and accepted his title. Solid Jerry has pants on in the ring. As much as I love Pacquiao, he don't want that beat down either. If this was 5 to 10 years ago, this would be a better fight. I agree with you. Mochi says, can't disagree, Big L. I think Kyrie's list is extremely short, 2, maybe 3 teams. I agree with you, Mo. That's what I'm kind of saying too. Like, his list is not like a page long. So obviously there's only going to be a certain amount of teams he's going to go to. New York is on that list. Does he want to play with LeBron? I think he was just closing the bud and apologizing so he can move on with his life. I don't think that was a situation where he wants to go there. And next up on the show in a couple minutes, we will have Tom Klein of Off the Rails with Tom and Mark podcast. He'll be coming on the show here in a couple of minutes. And we'll be talking some March Madness with one of my very good friends, Blake Cochran. He's a writer for keepingithill.com. Great website, SB Nation website. So he'll be coming on the show also. But when it really comes down to it, back to the Kyrie thing, he's going to go where he decides he wants to go. Nobody's going to tell Kyrie where he should go. Kyrie has his own opinion, has his own thoughts on life, has his own opinions and thoughts on the size of the globe. I mean, he's different. Not different in a bad way, but he has different opinions. Dollars and Cents says Kyrie will be fine once he gets to NY. He will sign a huge contract. They won't harass him about where he's going next. That's a good point. But the minute he has a bad game, they are going to harass him. It's New York. They're harassing the owner every single time he walks in and out of the arena. Granted, it is Dolan, so I get why you do that. I mean, did Jerry have pants on in the ring? Oh, I did not see that full photo, so I'm going to have to go back and look that up. But Jerry is a straight savage when it's about that money. Jerry is a straight savage about that money. He is not going to do anything to mess up the dough. We all know that now. If you don't know that, I don't know where you